For the record, I've not played against Ben Simmons.
He's doing turnaround jumpers. He's shooting threes. He's going out there with LeBron, and they're doing these 5-on-5 runs in L.A. every summer. And it's like, okay, this is the year. This is the year. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot. And I think he can shoot the ball. It's that he won't shoot the ball is the reason why he has to get the fuck out of here. And he's a max contract player. Now, if he's like one of those guys where he's just and it's not his fault that they gave him a bag. Yeah, you're right. It's not his fault that Elton Brand, the worst fucking GM in the history of fucking human planets,
Wait,
alien planets. I have family ties. Shout out to Auntie Tammy.
I'm gonna say this sound real person.
It is.
Shout out to Auntie Tammy, man. Well, of course, we're in the midst of the NBA playoffs, man. And, I mean, there's some guys that are in their contract years that are about to get paid, and there's some guys that are about to get traded. So, stocks are rising and stocks are falling. We're in an age now where everybody's getting on this stock game. I'm learning. So let's go with that, man. We got some guys, stocks going up. We got some guys, stocks going down, plummeting, man, plummeting as we speak. You got to sell, get out, don't hold. All right. So let's start with the bad news because we're bad news bears over here. Well, just off the top of your head, man, what are some of the guys throughout this playoff run? We got some guys that didn't even make the playoffs, all right? So, that's tough. But during this playoff run, what are some of the guys whose stock is just plummeting right before our eyes?
I'm going to give you credit. You went on the Ben Simmons rant before he really collapsed and imploded. And I think his stock is down. He's still talented, but I think that at this point with Philadelphia never really making a run, and the way he played down the stretch, I think he's a guy that you really got to question. Can he be in a championship caliber scenario, or is his inability or unwillingness to shoot such a detriment that you really can't build a title team around him, or with him being a central piece, not even being the best star? But I think his stock's down for sure.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
Well, if we're going to be talking about Ben Simmons, I went to a Philadelphia 76er game when they played the Orlando Magic 3 years ago. I sat courtside, and so I got to actually hear the players talk and everything else. I said then, and I think I still got the post on Facebook so people don't think this is 20/20 hindsight or whatever. Yeah. I put the post then. I said, those two guys don't like each other. Like the body language.
You're talking him and Joel.
Him and Joel and Embiid are not friends. I'm telling you what I know. Right. Just being a hooper, being in those locker rooms, I just know how it is. Anybody who's hooped at any level knows you always get some personalities that just don't mesh.
Oh,
right?
For sure, 100%.
And those personalities just don't mesh. And what I've seen out of Ben Simmons is that it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect because you know what your limitations are. You know that you don't want to be in a situation where you keep hearing the noise, the same things over and over again. Ben Simmons can't shoot, but that doesn't mean Ben Simmons. I think the young man is a Hall of Fame talent, and here's why. He's 24 years old. People are writing him off as if he's, at the end of his career. He's a baby. He's 24 years old. He's already a top 5 defender in the league, right? You can stay in the league being a defender. Right? If that's what your job is, you defend. You can facilitate. He can pass the ball, rebound, and defend. Those things are Hall of Fame worthy. We just watched Ben Wallace do it.
Yeah.
We just watched. Ben Wallace couldn't shoot neither.
No, I've been a Ben Simmons fan and supporter. I do think, though, that I'm troubled by the lack of growth over his time in the league in the shooting category, even to be serviceable. And there's a lot of guys that shot the ball not particularly well, but they developed it over the length of their career. Jason Kidd was another guy that influenced games with more than just shooting and scoring. Oh, yes. But he became a more proficient shooter over the course of his career. With Ben, we're not seeing any sort of progression in that area of the game. That's disturbing. And I think definitely the way this season ended, he was in his head by the end.
Okay, so to be fair, Pink, you used the Jason Kidd analogy. Sure. Jason Kidd didn't develop his shot towards the tail end of his career. Like Jason Kidd in his mid-20s still wasn't a proficient shooter. Hell, if that's the case, LeBron James wasn't a proficient, and that's my favorite player.
No, I know.
That's my favorite player. But at the end of the day, Like LeBron would shoot, and you'd be like, "Don't shoot!" Oh, if it went in,
No,
all right,
no,
all
no,
right, it's
dude.
cool. It's cool.
He drives me crazy as a shooter. He doesn't believe in himself half the time shooting.
Talking about LeBron?
Yeah.
You know what? Over the course of the previous years, I mean, he's gotten better. He's gotten more confident.
Yes, he's gotten more
But
confident.
but yeah, I mean, thank God you didn't catch me like the night of or the night after. I would have screamed you out of this studio. Listen, so Philadelphia, I think it's no way he could stay in Philadelphia. But and there's a couple of reasons. I'm not in the camp that Ben Simmons can't shoot. I'm not in that camp. I'm in the camp that Ben Simmons can shoot okay. I think if Ben Simmons was a regular guy and not a I won't say what. Okay, but if he was a regular human being, okay, and he was a regular upstairs, I think he could shoot about 32% from three and be a below 50% shooter from mid range. That's a bad shooter, but below average. Okay, the problem with Ben Simmons is that, like Pink says, it's not that he hasn't gotten better each season. He just won't shoot the ball, but every year during the summer, instead of going to an H League, what he does is he goes and shoots these fucking hour montages of him shooting the basketball every single summer. It's like every shot is going in, and he's playing against these little short 5'5", white guys. And it's like,
for the record, I've not played against Ben Simmons.
he's doing turnaround jumpers. He's shooting threes. He's going out there with LeBron, and they're doing these 5-on-5 runs in L.A. every summer. And it's like, okay, this is the year. This is the year. He's going to shoot. He's going to shoot. And I think he can shoot the ball. It's that he won't shoot the ball is the reason why he has to get the fuck out of here. And he's a max contract player. Now, if he's like one of those guys where he's just and it's not his fault that they gave him a bag. Yeah, you're right. It's not his fault that Elton Brand, the worst fucking GM in the history of fucking human planets,
Wait, you
alien
from Philly?
planets. I have family ties. Shout out to Auntie Tammy.
I'm gonna say this sound real person.
It is.
Shout out to Auntie Tammy, man. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not his fault. But yes, if he was a fucking whatever, I don't want to call out a number, but $5 million a year, $10 million a year type of guy, where he was just literally a role player, and we just needed him to rebound. We give him 20 minutes a game. That's fine. But he's our point guard, man. You know how hard it makes it for Embiid. That's my thing, man. Like you said, that's why Embiid doesn't like him. He's at the top of the key. His man has his back turned to him and fronting Embiid. Embiid is constantly doing doubles and triples.
I mean, I don't disagree with you, Bubba. Like nobody's disagreeing that Ben could improve his game, and Ben it has a lot of Orlando ties.
Yeah,
obviously.
Monter.
So, like, if he ever hears this and he wants to come to the Ace League, by all means, that door is open for him.
Yes,
but what I will say
I'll
is
get
that
kicked out.
we're giving Ben Simmons heaping so much expectations on this young man, and I only believe that's because he came with the title of the next LeBron.
Yeah.
Right? He came with that title of the next LeBron, which we've seen how many players faltered under that Jordan mantra, right? The Harold Miners of the world, the Jerry Stackhouses, so on and so forth. Even though Jerry Stackhouse had a stellar career, he didn't live up to
didn't meet up to that expectation.
Exactly. Well, Ben Simmons is in that category. We said that he's the next LeBron. He's not that, okay? At least not yet. So at the end of the day, he's 24 though. He's 24. Like we're writing this young man off like he doesn't have a chance.
But if you're a GM or a team president of a team in the league,
yes,
and based on what's gone down, Philly is listening to offers for Ben.
Yes.
Like do you think that you can build a championship team with Ben?
Absolutely.
You do.
Absolutely. You can't teach 6'10", right? Because every coach, I played for the Hall of Fame coach Mike Ingram out of LCC. And that's one of the things he used to preach all the time. He's coming down actually for a couple H League games this year too. One thing he used to always teach, he said two things actually. He said you can't teach heart and you can't teach height. And Ben Simmons,
He only got one of those.
but see, but we don't know that because
I know that.
because
He has
here's
zero
the reason
heart.
why I say that, because heart takes defense, like defense to play defense at the level he played,
Defense
elite defense.
Defense
that takes heart to do.
It takes intensity and fucking
And effort.
effort,
And
not
effort.
heart.
But see, that
Heart's
to sit
a
there and say-
function of effort.
Yeah, a heart's a function of effort, because if
It
you're
is.
saying that
They're
I'm going
not
to take
disconnected.
I'm going to take the best man and I'm going to guard him, that means you have heart. right? That means it says I'm looking at him and I got him.
Yeah.
That's their primary score. That's the person who I got to cut the head off the snake. I'm going to take him. Ben Simmons has heart. What happens is that we keep putting that expectation. Put him in a situation which is going to be beneficial to go to his strengths, which is passing, rebounding, and defending. Like a couple people have brought up, I'm not even going to say the Lakers because I don't think he quite fits there. But the Golden State Warriors would be a perfect
If
fit.
he replaced Draymond, something
yeah,
like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you don't even necessarily need to replace Draymond. I would get rid of Wiggins. I would get rid of Wiggins.
I would get rid of Wiggins
Why
anyway.
would you think we would want Wiggins? I mean, I would take a ham sandwich for Ben Simmons. Don't get me wrong, but I need some cheese on that.
All right, so
he's just a ham sandwich.
Wiggins, as much as people give him a hard time, y'all do realize that Wiggins averaged just as many points as Paul George for his career.
But he's another 10 man. He doesn't have a heart. Jimmy Butler told you that. He explained it. He showed you that. He's another 10 man. We can't trade one 10 man for another 10 man.
A 10 man that can shoot though.
He can barely shoot. Wiggins can't shoot. He's not like. But he will
20.
shoot. He will shoot.
I'm about to say he
will
scored
shoot.
20 a night for his career.
No. I agree with that.
Yeah, he scored 20 a night for his career.
I'm
in
not
the
talking
NBA.
about his talent. I don't want to talk about his talent. I'm just saying he's a 10 man.
There is something that does not add up with
produce.
Wiggins. He has high level NBA athleticism,
But low motor.
He can shoot. He can get his own shot, and just something doesn't add up.
But see, what are we asking for? Because everybody can't beat Kobe, right? Like
We're not
I
asking
think that
for that. I mean, we're not. But you're.
Come on, man. You got to come with.
It's kind of like
he
like
averages 25
but
and
it's-
5. Like what are we talking about?
But you were talking like what Chris said to you.
Yes.
He doesn't have that dog in it. Like
No,
at
not
the end
everybody's
of the
going to
day,
do that.
Not everyone's gonna. But if you are gonna build championship teams, if that's your objective, you're looking for the guys that even among the stars have that extra measure, and that's how you get titles. You don't get it by taking the guy that's, sixth in the heart ranking behind 5 other dogs.
Okay.
That's why I'm asking if you feel that you could, do that. Now, I think technically there's probably a scenario where Ben can be that, but I honestly feel like he's probably better suited with his skill set to be the third best player on a team.
All right. So, quick question, because we're going under the premise that every player cares about titles, right? Those of us who've been around the NBA circles and things of that nature, and the players like I have, I'm pretty sure you have as well, knows that the first thing is to secure that bag. That NBA title fallacy, that's for the media to put out onto these players.
But the premise of what we're talking about is how the playoffs have impacted the relative stock of these guys.
All right.
And in that context, it really is, how you're performing.
And then what about the guys who have secured the bag already? Ben and Wiggins have secured.
They both
They've
secured the bag.
robbed the league. Ben Simmons robbed us with no mask on. And I don't know if I don't know, maybe Elton Brand, I don't know if he screwed his sister. I don't know what happened with that process. But you give a guy a max contract who has displayed any level of fucking getting better. How can you and Tobias Harris at the same on Monday he gave Ben Simmons a max. On Tuesday he gives Tobias a max and sends Jimmy out the door. That's the 2 worst days of human civilization. God damn. I don't know, but it's not his fault. He got the bag, but once he got the bag, he got worse. You understand?
But see, that's where it depends on what your perception is, and obviously your perception of it as a Philly fan is that you wanted him to say max player equals max results. I get that. Right? I get that. But you do realize since he received that max contract, Ben Simmons has been a 2-time All-Star, 2-time first defense.
He didn't deserve All-Star this year.
Well, I just go by what actually happened. And
That's true.
what actually happened was, since he received that contract, he has paid some dividends on that. Now, he may not got you over the hump the way you wanted to, but let's be real. I was just in Philly, 2 weeks ago, and talking to some of the players. My man Caddy, shout out to Caddy. You know what I mean? Okay. I get it. It's got that grit, that grind, that you want that heart in that city.
Right.
I get it. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Ben seems more Hollywood. He seems more like he doesn't have that necessarily desire. He doesn't fit the Philly mantra.